All right, guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'm an idiot. Now, I just did a video comparing a bunch of different iron removers on the cheaper side compared to one of my classic favorites that I always use, which is Reactive Rust Remover. However, one of the new iron removers I did not do justice, and that is Vampire Plus Direct. This is the one that goes on high foaming. But in the comments, and friends reached out and they said, hey, you're an idiot. There's another feature to this thing, which I've never seen before on any spray bottle, and it's super, super cool. So if you look here, hopefully this will focus for you guys. I'm gonna try and get this to focus really well. There we go. So you can see the screen mesh filter right there, right? That creates the foam production, but you can do this. If you don't want the foam, you flip it up and it's gonna be a normal sprayer. I did not test it that way. I need to test it that way up against Reactive Rust Remover to see how it performs there, because this thing's coming in at right around 20 bucks. I can't remember the exact price, but right around 20 bucks. This is $14.50. And again, this one doesn't have the strong odor like this one does. So let's go ahead. I have my Sprinter van outside where the track goes for the sliding door. Always gets really contaminated. So let's go outside, check it out, and test these two out side by side. All right, guys, so here is the van in question like I was talking about. This is the slider mechanism for the door. It's a powered door. Not the best feature, honestly. I got the powered door on this thing because I thought it'd be really cool for the kids. But because the van's so long, torsionally, if you're on any sort of a hill, the van door goes to close and then pops back open. It's kind of annoying. Side note, not important to this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and take you guys in and show you the contamination that we're gonna be addressing here. So I did just do a quick rinse of the area. Again, I just don't want any dirt contamination there hindering the effects of this. But if you look here, like just absolutely tons of speckled in debris, right? And it's just from it grinding across this thing all the time, and it happens. So what we're gonna do, I think the best way to do it is right here at the window. If you look in here, hopefully this will focus for you guys. Hopefully it shows, but there is just a ton of contamination evenly throughout this whole area. So there you go, guys. You can see all the little rust specks that look like rust. That is all the contamination. And it's equal throughout this whole area. So we're gonna go ahead and treat one section with Reactive Rust Remover, one section with Luminus Vampire Plus Direct, and with the foamer off. All right, guys, so the foaming cap is opened up, okay? So we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna try and spray these both at the exact same time. Why do I wanna do that? I wanna test the reaction time, and then that way it gives a fair representation of how long these are both sitting on the surface before to see the reaction time of all that kind of stuff. So here we go. I'm gonna leave you guys there. Hopefully you can see me. Yeah, you'll be able to see me. And then I'm gonna spray it, and then I'll switch over to my phone and we'll start inspecting it. So I'm gonna do 2 spritz from each of them. There we go. Put that down. God, wow. Wow. Okay, so here we go. Reactive Rust Remover, Vampire Plus Direct. So there's some reaction going for the Reactive Rust Remover. Vampire Plus Direct, I would say, has more reaction right now. Look at that. And then we'll go over to the Koch Chemie side. And look at that. So for me, Vampire Plus is getting those really small little areas, but also doing a more blanketed kind of, it seems like it's runniness. So this one's already running all the way down to here versus Koch Chemie is up here still. Hopefully you guys can see that there and up there. So different consistencies for sure. Here we go again, Koch Chemie. Now I will say the particles are really dark red. And on the Luminous side, it was super dark red. Now it's just bleeding out and getting lighter. But that may be just because it's dissolving it all completely. So again, we're gonna let this sit for a little bit. It's been on there for just over a minute now. I'm gonna let it sit for another minute and then we'll inspect again. All right, guys, we're at 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and inspect these things up close. So here we go, Reactive Rust Remover. Obviously, I'm very familiar with this product. I use it all the time. And as you can see, it's just really deep, dark color and starting to bleed out, right? On the Luminous side, again, same kind of thing. It is dissipating now, but again, I think it's because it's a little bit runny of a product, right? It is dripping all the way down here versus Koch Chemie still up here, right? Which is kind of nice though, because it's gonna pull down and cover a lot of area. And again, the odor isn't there with this one. I mean, there's still don't get me wrong, there's still a little bit of a iron remover odor to it. But yeah, they cover it up so well. It actually smells quite good. So let's go ahead and rinse these down and look at what they did. Now, before I rinse this, I want to note that a lot of times I like to agitate the surface, especially with that much contamination. I like to agitate the surface with a towel or something like that after this stage. Just helps the iron remover help to loosen everything up, and that just little agitation pulls it all out. But we're not going to do that here. We want to test this just with this pure, pure dwell time. All right, so let's go ahead and inspect that now. All right, guys, so here we go. This is the Koch Chemie side. Let's see if I can get in here. Looks really, really, really good. Definitely still some specks left over, and that's kind of to be expected. Like I said, if we go in and agitate, then they usually come up a bit better. The Luminus side, significantly better as well, like way, way better. We do have a couple little specks still in there. But again, with agitation, those should come out. Now, just to see, again, because this bottle's so cool and it has this dual feature of foam versus not foam. So again, if you're going over the whole vehicle, you can kind of just come in, lightly mist. The sprayer is amazing on this thing as well. So you get tons of coverage. Again, the odor is like no big deal at all. So that's very, very nice. Now, again, for wheels, now we have a good reaction going up here too, guys, right in that little first place that I showed you. But when you're working on wheels and things like that, or something that you want the dwell time to be even longer and really under that window, I would probably switch over to the foaming side and use that. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now under the window with the foaming and just see what kind of result we get there. All right, here we go, foaming side. So to get it right in there, we're going across the whole thing again. Okay, so good to go there. On this side back here, look at the reaction here, guys. Completely melting everything out. Really, really nice. Now, again, this flat surface, it's sitting in there and able to work really, really well. But look how dark that is. It's just like the Koch Chemie on how dark it gets. The Koch Chemie darkness seems to hold longer versus this one starts to just dissipate out as it bleeds out more. Again, it just seems like there's more liquid to this that it continually starts to run down. That's the only real difference I'm seeing there. But yeah, looks really good. Let's go ahead and look at this track. And again, a lot of this, yeah, so that's one thing with the foam. It is harder to see the reaction because the foam is covering it. Now, all the way over here, we didn't treat this area. You can see, hopefully, if this, like you can see there, it is having a real good reaction as well. Now, one thing to note about that bleed out color and how this one seems to run out from Luminus, I think it could possibly be that I'm even over applying the product. Maybe just a little mist is all you need. Otherwise, all that lubrication kind of runs out and that dilutes it down. I think not dilutes the reaction, meaning it pulls it, so it pulls the color all the way out. So that may be something as well. But because I just sprayed it again here. Yeah, so right here, I just sprayed a secondary coat. And again, it's kind of like diluting it almost a little bit, just making it run a little bit more. So watch, you see that? It like took it away and then it'll start to come back again. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that I personally like this better not foaming. And I liked it when it was foaming. It worked well, but I like it when you flip that open and just spray it normal, even better. The foaming feature is awesome and in certain circumstances, very, very beneficial. But probably 90% of the time, I'm gonna be using it wide open. So again, dwell times and things like that are gonna affect that, how bad the contamination is. Again, do your iron remover, that's gonna soften those particles as well. It's gonna help dissolve and break them down. So when you go into your clay, it's gonna be easier process. You're not gonna have as much marring because you're not gonna be picking up hard pieces of, essentially, right? You try and think of it that way. Hard pieces of contamination versus ones that are brittle and broken down already. So that's it for today's video, guys. Honestly, both products, absolutely amazing. My new go-to is probably, I have to say, it's probably gonna be Vampire Direct because there's no smell. It smells good. No bad smell to it. It smells really good. And it's cheaper, $14.50 versus around 20 bucks. This stuff, though, is still always gonna be with me in my arsenal, an absolute crazy iron remover. So both those choices, you can't go wrong. Just wanted to highlight that for you and really just re-edit that video, re-communicate that this thing has the ability to foam and not foam, which raised this up a few more spots on my list, right? From, it was like, you know, an 8 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. It's awesome. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Please make sure to like the video, make sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification bell, and we'll see you on the next one.